what? In the United States right now, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it started a week before Thanksgiving, the prices have been just outrageous to the point where I couldn't hold back anymore. So, I don't know. I got this addiction or something to, well, there's worse things to be addicted to. So, anyway, I mean, I've seen this lens for like $900, $889 at B&H. I mean, that's insane, okay? And you know what? I don't know if it's the exchange rates or what. 707 for a 17 to 40 F4L? I just couldn't stop. I mean, 5D Mark II for under $3,000 with a 24 to 105. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, at those prices, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just, the prices are just, they're so cheap this season. I don't know what the deal is. And considering how much the dollar's devalued, I mean, they're practically giving this stuff away. I mean, it's a lot of money still, but I mean, dang. Anyway, couldn't resist and always wanted to do a review of the 17 to 40, so here it is, and a lot of good things to say. First of all, let me get this off right off the bat. 5 years ago, on the 20Ds, okay, this lens wasn't so good. I mean, the 5D Mark I, the samples that Canon had out at the time that the 5D Mark I came out with a 17 to 40 were terrible. In the corners, it was like blurry. So I don't know what, if they decided, like, now that they're up to 18 megapixels, 21 megapixels, whether they need to up their game or what the story was. But the new ones are so much better. They're sharp into the corners, and you know, what can I say? They're it's a much sharper lens than it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So one of the things that I'll tell you right now is I would not recommend buying a used one of these, because you might get a 5-year-old one that wasn't so good. I mean, it's a limited sample of a few lenses, but I mean, if Canon themselves can't get a sharp sample image on a 5D, what the hey, you know? So this lens, the new lens on a 5D Mark II 21 megapixels, it rocks. I mean, it's great. It's a sharp lens. The next thing to talk about is the 16 to 35 2.8. It's like $800 more expensive, and the real kicker for me is the 82 millimeter front filter thread. This lens, the 17 to 40, has a 77 millimeter front filter thread. That's an old Hoya HMC 77 I have. I like the B+Ws, the MRC ones nowadays, so I'll upgrade that when I get a chance to. But this lens is weather sealed. It's got the rubber ring on the back. With one thing that it says in the instructions, you've got to have a filter on the front. Now, some people don't like filters, freak out, but you know what? If you don't have the filter in the front, you don't have the weather seal. And that's according to Canon. So, we'll run the filter. You might want a thinner ring filter than that. It can vignette a little bit. Particularly if you put, actually it doesn't vignette with one filter. If you put you got to take this filter off till you run a polarizer. Or a neutral density. 2 filters will vignette at 17. So build quality is superb. Autofocus is superb. It's a great lens. It's a 17 to 40 ultra wide on a full frame. It's a 28 to 70, let's say, on a 70 crop body. So it's a normal zoom, not particularly wide, not particularly long, on a 7D or a T3i. Superb, superb optics. The 3 pillars of image quality are resolution, contrast, and saturation, color saturation. Okay, and with these L lenses, that's what you're getting. You're getting all 3. So, a lot of people only talk about sharpness. I mean, because if it's not sharp, who cares how contrasty and saturated it is to a certain extent. But when you put an L lens on a camera, most of the time, all of a sudden everything starts popping. All the colors start becoming real poppy. And you get this micro contrast thing happening. Micro contrast, contrast, whatever. It's all contrast. So, this lens has it. The newer versions of these are very comparable to 16 to 35 Mark II. I had a 16 to 35 Mark I back in the day, and it was kind of a pretty terrible lens. It flared something horribly, and I just didn't like that lens at all. The Mark IIs are much better, but again, the 82 millimeter filter thread is what is the deal killer on that one. Comes with this nice hood. Pretty wide hood, actually. But so there it is. I mean, for $707, you know, usually what happens when Canon lowers their prices like that right before Christmas, coming into the new year, the prices skyrocket. And that might be where we're headed. So, great landscape lens. I use this lens a lot for landscapes. And what's nice on the full frame, the 5D Mark II or the 1DS Mark III, is that, you know, your 24 to 105 or your 24 to 70 is kind of your normal everyday, you know, normal lens focal length, and you switch to this when you really want to do something wide. And there's a lot of great photographs taken with this lens. So search online. pbase.com is a great place to go. Search online for, you can see examples of photographs taken with just this lens. So that's where we're at. That's my 17 to 40 millimeter F4L USM. I just couldn't resist. I'm going to get back into Canon. I'm loving it. So yeah. We're running the Pentax for video work right now, which is great. And I'm running the Pentax with those small primes for just my walk around personal stuff. But at these prices, the Canon system's hard to beat. And you know, hey, you know, run both. Life is short. Enjoy yourself. That's what it's all about. All right, that's Ed with Photo Universe. That's our 17 to 40 millimeter F4L USM review, and a few of the things that we've picked up over the years about it, and some of our impressions. And there we are. Great sharp lens. One of the least expensive L lenses from Canon. Can't go wrong with that lens. Beautiful lens. All right, Ed with Photo Universe.